In this video, we're taking you from Cheshire all the way up to Norway in just 4 days, possibly. And here's the route. 250 miles approximately from Cheshire down to Dover. Hop on the ferry over to Calais, then it's the big one. 577 miles, unless we get lost, through the Netherlands, into Germany, up to Rostock. And that's the leg that could kill the whole plan. Followed by a 6-hour ferry crossing to Trelleborg in Sweden. And from there, another 371 miles up through Gothenburg, up to Oslo. But this is the Muppet and his grand plans. And don't forget, we're breaking this budget down for you as we go along and in full at the end of the video. And drop in the comments any ideas you have for how we could have saved money.
4 days to get from Cheshire to Norway. Can it be done?
Should it be done?
There's no AI, there's no script. It's just the two of us trying to get to Norway in 4 days. And the great thing about starting point from this video is we don't actually know whether we're going to make it. It's just going to happen as you follow us. So all the stresses that we have,
you can share with us. Got the passports, got the flight toll tag, got our phones.
Numerous amounts of clothing, garage is packed.
Yes, because we're going away and it's summertime and it's going to be winter practically when we come back. So I've had to pack for all seasons.
So let's go.
As we drove through the village, I couldn't help but feel a little bit apprehensive that I wasn't going to see this place for probably something like 4 months. Most people would be able to just fly home, but due to a medical condition, I can't. So I'm going to be trapped in Norway for the entire duration.
A couple of admin tasks to do the tyres and get LPG here, just in Walsall, off junction 10. Use it before we all lose it. This guy's 70p a litre.
All filled up, the Muppet was in good mood and we headed off to Canterbury Park and Ride.
When you think everything's going great, sometimes it doesn't. Just watch this white van come past us and look what happens. Oh! Yep, a blowout in lane 3.
Pretty sure that won't be the end of the eventfulness on this journey, so keep watching.
Five hours, 15 minutes.
Yeah, okay, just about. Not bad.
And the first stop, of course, Canterbury. I'm starting to think this is going to be a bit tough because I'm already knackered. It was quite a drive. But that's the UK.
Yeah.
Nothing to see much other than I learned something. If I don't use my right foot as much, I can get 29 miles to the gallon,
Yeah.
which is the
Pretty
best ever.
amazing. Yeah, I don't think we've ever done that before.
Normally I sit around 22, so that's going to give us 570 quid for our journey if I manage to do that all the way, but I won't. Glass of wine later, and it was time to hit the sack and get ready for tomorrow's bigger adventure.
Well, welcome to Eindhoven. What a drive that was. I think you might want to stay tuned to find out what happened. It's just possible that the Muppet has bitten off more than he can chew.
Day started as per normal. Nikki being scared stiff by a lorry we just didn't think was going to stop.
Anyway, enough of me being scared. Welcome to Dover. And their new, improved passport control queues. Just if you weren't scared enough already.
To say these lanes were a little bit narrow is an understatement. Who thought of these? My motorhome literally just fitted. But nevertheless, we got through, got checked in, passport's done, and on our way and on the ferry.
We opted to sit on deck on the ferry because the ferry was full of all those pesky school kids. We did manage to pop indoors for a little bit of duty-free shopping though. But other than that, we just sat and watched the day go by. 250 miles under our belt down to Dover. crossed the channel and headed to Eindhoven.
As we entered into Belgium, everything seemed fine, all going really well, like nothing would go wrong.
I don't know what they sell in the garage across the road, but this man was ultra keen to get there and find out.
Literally 50 miles from the ferry, and I've got to stop and have a rest already.
We're 1 hour into the drive and I've now got 2 of Snow White's dwarfs with me. I've got Sleepy and Grumpy.
I had a quick 20 minutes, and then Nikki decided to tell us about the journey and the countries we'd visit.
We are then going to Roadside in France, then we're going through Belgium and the Netherlands and Germany, and then sailing over to Sweden, and then finally driving into Norway. How many countries is that? I think I ran out of fingers.
5.
5, I'm told.
After the most incredibly terrible time going round the Antwerp ring road, I was then stuck behind this lorry for what seemed like ever. And then this happened. Oh my God, what was I thinking? So they were red then?
They were going red, yeah, they were.
That was quite a lucky escape. Didn't quite catch it all on dash cam, but trust me, it was lucky. All I could think of was, please let's just get to Eindhoven without anything else going wrong.
Welcome to Netherlands.
Well, with fuel touching nearly £2 a litre, it was Nederland. Nedder fill up their land.
With 445 miles under our belt since we left home, we hit Eindhoven and decided to hit the sack.
And that was good night from Eindhoven. I promise you, we will get better views from what you're getting this morning. But welcome to Eindhoven. Quick run round the city done, Nikki out on her bike to get some shopping, time to go. So 2 nights in, this is our stop at Eindhoven's, and what do we pay for that stop?
This is Meerhoffen Park and Ride, and it has cost us €4.
€4 and £8 at Canterbury Park and Ride. So far,
£11.44 on parking overnight.
and 500 miles in. How do you get out of it?
Just keep whipping it all over again.
Finally, we made it out of there, and a little while later we hit Germany. But unfortunately, the terrible traffic through a lot of Germany was getting the Muppet very agitated. So, how are you getting on in your 4-day drive?
Well, we are into day 2, well into day 2, and it's proving a little bit more difficult than I probably imagined. 500 miles in, been driving, well, I wouldn't say driving, 2.5, 3 hours today, but we've covered about 50 miles since we've been in traffic. So yeah, I'm quite tired and clearly not as young as what I once was when I would do these crazy drives. And we're on the Autobahn, which means that cars are coming past so fast that I have to look about 10 times before I make a move. So I'm just sitting with the lorries, getting my MPG, that's what it's all about, keeping the budget up. The more we save on fuel, the more money we've got to spend on other things.
If you followed our previous videos, you'll know that the Muppet is not allowed to mount anything on the back of our van on the tow bar. Turns out, he's not the only one. After 230 miles, we checked into a nice Stellplatz that we found in Hanover. Unfortunately, the Muppet was still tired and grumpy, So I cheered him up with the news that there's a park run in Hanover tomorrow, and we're off to the supermarket around the corner to buy some vodka. Well, welcome to Hanover. We've driven about 230 miles. Took us nearly 5 hours due to quite a lot of heavy traffic around roadworks. And I've got a right old grumpy muppet on my hands now. The MPG though was good at 29.8. Is he really going to make Norway in 4 days? I'm not sure.
It was time to jump into bed and think about tomorrow's drive. Clearly, I was now really struggling, and the prospect of doing where I wanted to get to in Norway in 4 days was starting to feel a little bit unreal. Welcome to Hanover, a beautiful day in the city, which can only mean one thing: we're going to do park run.
With the Muppet safely out on his park run, I decided to have a little moochie around. A nice little wander through the park and then into Hanover city centre, which was really actually quite nice and well worth a visit.
Having bagged the third place at the park run, not bad for an old fat bloke, I decided to join Nikki and we headed into town, and it was really nice. But alas, it was time to get back on our way. 20 euros paid for this air, well worth it. Right in the city, what could be better?
We also knew that we were going to have quite a long drive up to Rostock, so decided it was time to get our skates on. This is definitely the best way to travel. Although we're not actually touring Germany on this trip, we're just travelling through. It's so much nicer to be on nice roads like this rather than on the motorway. Granted, it's going to take a lot longer travelling this way, but it's a much more relaxed way of travelling if you've got the time.
It is absolutely beautiful out here. I mean, it might be different in the rain, but at the moment, this place...
Yeah, here now today, with all the greenery and the sunshine.
didn't always go quite to that plan, but we ended up out of sight, just 1 hour from Rostock and tomorrow's ferry. So it was good night from Newcastle. Chance to go to bed because we've got a very early ferry in the morning. As we awoke in Newcastle, the dream of getting to Norway in 4 days looked about as dead as these roses. We'd overslept. This just seemed too nice a place to just pass on.
Basically, we'd stumbled across one of Germany's hidden treasures, and it was just too nice a place not to get the bikes out and go and have an explore.
This hidden gem in Germany's northeast was a campsite that cost 22 euros. It was an absolutely amazing place to stay. I really didn't want to leave, but Scandinavia awaits.
So quite an exciting little trip at the moment, because we are heading to Rostock port to get the ferry to Sweden. Never been up to this part of Germany before, never been to this port, so we're going to go and see
And
all about.
we've only been to Sweden once, and that was really briefly, just literally across the border. New country for us, really, in terms of like doing a little bit more of it. But also, I mean, I have been to IKEA, so that's sweet.
That's as good as going to Sweden, surely.
Absolutely.
As we arrived at Rostock, we boarded the ferry, and there were a few hairy moments in here because it wasn't the easiest ferry to get onto.
And we got to play Starsky and Hutch at the end and squeal all my tyres. All boarded, time to find our cabin.
Here we are on the Stena boat that I can't remember what its name is, and we are in a Baltic cabin for 2 beds.
Let's go and have a look.
Have a look.
See if it's a minger. Go.
Okay. Come on in.
Oh, hey. I've been in worse. Got a TV.
A little sweet stems teas.
On this occasion, the Muppet was right. We have seen far worse, but it was smaller than the motorhome, but quite cute.
We were soon on our way, and Rostock was a massive place and really popular with the Germans.
And just 6 hours later, we were travelling back down that rickety ramp and getting off the ferry.
Four miles, that's all that we got left now. Before the road will run out, before it's time for goodbyes. 4 miles until we're changing our lives. What's
Welcome
at the end of
to Scandinavia.
this ride? Don't know just where we'll arrive. But you could be there feeling like yourself. I could be there, be somebody else. We could be alright. You could be there feeling like yourself. I could be there, be somebody else. We could be alright.
We are clearly not in Norway. I failed in my endurance sport. That would go down as a DNF. Did not finish. Quite simply, 2 reasons. One was because I just couldn't do the drives that I used to do without feeling so tired, because I am working on the road. And that's important to understand, that I couldn't just drive non-stop. I have to stop. I have to do some work, do a bit more driving and so forth.
But you also found that when you were doing big drives, it was more tiring than you expected it to be.
Especially through the traffic in Germany. I think that was a big killer, that one.
Yeah, when the journeys were slow.
But we got this far and it ain't over, because the other thing that sort of threw it was that we're in no rush.
No, we haven't got to do it in that time.
Yeah, we never quite made it as far up as what I would want to have gone. We're falling 323 miles short, but we could pretty much do that in a day and a half's driving when we need to.
If we want to, because there may be places on the way that we think are going to be worth a look. Seeing as we're up here, we might as well.
And one of the places that we stopped on the way up, Hanover, beautiful city, as we hope we showed you. And also a place called
New Gloucester,
which I tell you, it's where Germans go for holiday. It's a secret place where they only seem to go, the only British people there. And it's around a lake, and it was really nice. So we just didn't want to rush away from there.
No, it was like the German version of Rutland Water.
Moving on, let's get down to what we've spent so far. So if you've followed us and you've come to join us from this video here, you'll know that we're trying to do this on a UK pension
budget.
And we have £5,100 to spend over 12 weeks or so. We'd be quite surprised how much we've spent already. So this doesn't include food, because you'll have your own food that you either take with you or whichever you would use. But so far, let's go. Nikki, how much have we spent on camp stops?
On camp stops, we've done 6 nights so far, and we've spent £95. We've done a couple of really cheap ones on park and rides. We've done a couple of slightly more expensive motorhome airs. I mean, they're not been massively expensive anyway.
The average price has been around about £20 per night. Secondly, fuel.
Now, that's the biggest expense out of the lot. We've covered just under 1,000 miles, and our fuel bill has come in at £318, I think.
Yeah, £318. And I have been driving like an old man. I tell you, I've been like proper milking this old bus and getting as much as 27 to 29 miles per gallon, where, to be quite frank, if we got 22 to the gallon normally, I'd be quite happy.
And we've probably still got another 150 miles in the tank, so we're not done yet on the fuel.
We paid £9.25 for a toll road, which we found by accident.
Well, it wasn't all that toll road. Some of it was the dart charge as well.
And then lastly, the other costs we have,
Ferries,
which come in at
380. Now, we've only included going one way Dover-Calais on that, and then the ferry from Germany to Sweden, because obviously we haven't returned yet. So we'll include that return ferry cross when we get there.
So we expected a heavier cost on the way out because of the mileage we were doing to get to where we're going to go. But yeah, I think we've spent 860 quid of our £5,100 budget, but that includes the ferries.
Yeah, I think in terms of doing this trip on a pension budget, you'd probably need to have some money saved up initially for your ferry crossings at least, and then look to use your pension income for the running costs of the trip. And obviously, like Paul said, we've done a lot of miles so far. We've killed a lot of miles to get to this point. So there's a quite heavy duty mileage costs in that initial 1,000 miles.
So we've done that in 1 week, then miles in 1 week, whereas total trip we reckon is going to be about 6,000 miles. And out of those 6,000 miles, we are thinking that 5,000 of those, for example, will be over the next 10 weeks. That's like half of that fuel, I suppose.
Average fuel cost of diesel in the UK at the moment is what, about £1.80. In Germany and the Netherlands, it was around about £2 and maybe a bit more in places. And we've not filled up yet in Sweden, but we had a look and it's about £1.45.
So there we go. That's where we are. First week's budget's not going too well, but hang in there. We're
trying to pull it back into the budget.
This didn't include
No.
alcohol or food. That's all come from us from home.
Yeah.
Which we would have spent anyway.
Yeah.
The week before going. But next week we will have to shop and add the shopping too.
And later on in these videos, we'll do a little cost comparison between essential items in the UK versus Norway.
So keep watching. We don't know what the next video is yet. I hope it's not Norway in another 4 days. We hope to get there probably by the end of the week. We're just going to take a little bit more of a romantic journey up.
Romantic?
Did I really say that?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
I think you might want to backtrack on that.
We're just going to take a more of a
relaxing, leisurely drive through Sweden.
Journey up through Sweden. We are in Malmo. What a city. Absolutely beautiful.
On the water. It's lovely.
But really, really busy in town.
Yeah.
And we hope to go across to Copenhagen tomorrow. We'll have to see what the Øresund Bridge is like because we've only got my little scooter, which is 125.
And it might be a little bit hairy. We can see the Øresund Bridge from here. And I'm not sure a little 125cc scooter in the wind is going to be a good idea.
Have a great day and look forward to the next video, which will be out hopefully next week.
Yes. TTFN.